Hello, what's going on? Welcome back to the second episode of Face for Radio. If you joined us after the first episode, thank you so much for coming back to hear some more of what we have to say. If you're new to the podcast, then thanks for joining us. Feel free to jump back an episode and catch up on our last conversation about lizard people. The podcast this week is a little shorter, but it's definitely no less entertaining, as we step into the mind of Scotty C and follow him through the story of Lee Harvey Oswald and the assassination of JFK. We hope you enjoy, and I'll see you again at the end. Bye.
It's what you've all been waiting for.
So, we had originally discussed the existence of lizard people on the Earth and within the Earth, and different ways that they could have been potentially proven to exist. We move on now to our very good friend Scott Copeland, who is going to introduce us to his conspiracy. What do you have for us today, please, Scott?
Well, I'm going to be talking about the JFK assassination.
Ooh.
Strong topic.
Indeed, aye. And the theory that Lee Harvey Oswald did not act alone during the actions that took place that fateful day.
Ooh.
Wow, that fateful day. Is this scripted?
Well, not fateful day. It was quite unfortunate for JFK, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, just a bit.
Just a bit unfortunate.
His ear got shot off, but it's fine.
It wasn't his greatest day, let's be honest. So, Kennedy was shot whilst taking part in his presidential motorcade by Lee Harvey Oswald.
This feels like not much of a conspiracy so far.
Hang on, wait a minute. Or was he?
Ooh, he said, or was he?
Oh, sorry. Oh!
Right, I'll start again.
Start again.
No, please don't.
Kennedy was shot while taking part in his presidential motorcade by Lee Harvey Oswald. Or was he?
Ooh.
Yes, he was.
Well, 70% of Americans don't believe Oswald acted alone.
70%?
Yep, 70%
That's
don't think he acted on his own.
10 times more than believe in lizard people.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Already off to a good start there.
Former Los Angeles District Attorney Vincent Bugliosi, but I think that's how you pronounce it, estimated that a total of 42 groups, 82 assassins, and 214 people have been accused at one time or another to have taken part in the murder over the course of since when it started and now. So the idea that Oswald acted alone in this assassination is it's quite a common belief, and there's some evidence to back this up. So the Kennedy family were constantly connected to organised crime, and the mafia were suspected to have helped Kennedy win an election in 1962.
Wait, so Kennedy and his family were all into organised crime?
They were all connected to it, yeah.
I didn't know that. How so?
I think they just had connections with people who were in charge of the mob, or they had,
They will have had meetings with them, and it's not unheard of for organised crime to get involved in political elections, particularly in the US.
Well, yeah. That's crazy though, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kennedy was also involved in some controversy with the mob because Kennedy was unsuccessful at overthrowing Fidel Castro, meaning the mafia-run casinos in Cuba remained closed and they lost a lot of money for the mob. So that's a motive of why people believe that the mob were involved somewhat in the assassination.
Can I ask as well?
Sure.
Without all this, I don't have much prior knowledge to JFK. So, is it Lee Harvey Oswald, you said?
Yeah, Lee Harvey Oswald.
Lee Harvey Oswald, yeah, he was the guy who is suspected.
I remember, that they teach that in history in schools and stuff,
Yeah.
don't they? That he was the assassin for JFK.
Yeah.
Remind me what was going on in his mind. Why did he assassinate JFK, allegedly?
He's Googling it.
Hang on.
Oh my goodness. That is a lot of typing.
Why did Lee Harvey Oswald...
Oh.
It was the 22nd of November 1963, I remember that much.
Yeah, but why did he, Ruben?
That is a good reason why. This should become to be expected from Scott's segment.
Well,
maybe we could get some elevator music, and anytime it goes deathly silent, and you could just hear a really loud typing, we can just add the music over the top.
oh yes.
Or if we do I don't know, is it copyright to sing a karaoke track?
Not really.
Because Ruben, you could just do the backing, and I could just start gently singing soothing songs to aid Scott in his googling. I feel like I've really gonna have to deduct points for this poor preparation, mind.
I think so.
Yeah, I know. I can't actually find the motive. It doesn't say anywhere. That's the problem.
Scott, you know what to say right now, don't you?
What?
You need to ask the fans to let you know in the comment section.
So any fans watching? Do you have any idea? Oh, sorry, fans listening, should I say?
Yeah.
Any idea why Harvey Oswald shot JFK? Then please comment below, because you'd be doing me a big favour, because I've not got a clue.
I feel like we need to have some kind of sound card where we have like a shame button.
Shame.
Like not necessarily that.
Shame.
Okay.
We can take that exact sound clip.
We can't do that one though. And the reason that we can't do that is because it's very, very unfunny.
Wow, okay.
It really sucked.
It
really sucked.
Alright, steady
Jesus
on.
Christ.
Anyway, JFK.
JFK.
Yeah. So, Kennedy's brother Robert at the time also blamed the mob for his brother's death. The cellmate of a mafia boss claimed that the boss had confessed in prison to organising the assassination. He confessed in 1985. In later years, people claim that the FBI covered up this confession by erasing the tape that the mafia boss had made. So when this news was reported, some people originally didn't believe it, whilst a lot of people actually thought maybe there could be some level of substance to this claim. Robert Blakely, who was the chief counsel for the House Select Committee on Assassinations, concluded in his book A Plot to Kill the President that Marcello, who was the man who claimed to have organised the assassination, was likely part of a mafia conspiracy behind the assassination, and that the mafia had means, motive and opportunity to carry out the act itself.
Damn.
Another theory behind the fact that maybe Lee Harvey Oswald didn't act alone was Robert Kennedy, again, first had a suspicion that a rogue element of the CIA was also involved. The CIA operatives, however, were able to convince Kennedy that this was not the case. The CIA were apparently angry at Kennedy over an incident involving the Bay of Pigs, which I believe was similar to do with Fidel Castro as well.
Mm.
Oh, Scott, you're typing it so loud.
Shame.
Yeah, that wasn't any funnier the second time.
I'm currently scrolling on the Word doc I've made of all this, right?
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. Less than an hour after the JFK assassination, Lee Harvey Oswald was arrested after shooting a police officer. Many people think, due to this, the authorities rigged the Kennedy trial to frame Oswald in order for him to get a much higher sentence for his crime.
So, is there anything, like, actually to disprove that he did it? Like, because obviously he would have had to be a good, like, shooter. He'd have to be good with a gun to do it. And
about that, Lee Harvey Oswald served within the Marine Corps and was known in the Corps for his abysmal marksmanship abilities.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, he was not able to shoot the target 100% of the time. For example, in a test he did when he started, he had to aim for the head of a dummy, ended up hitting the shoulder instead. So his marksmanship was known for not being the greatest.
Okay, so
I mean, that's still got to be quite good, though, isn't it? Like,
we'd probably not be able to hit the shoulder.
Yeah, it's quite good, but it doesn't always mean that he's going to hit the target correctly.
But if you're planning to assassinate someone, you have to be pretty good. Like when JFK was killed, was it like one shot, clean shot?
He fired 3 times, and only 2 of them actually hit the president.
Right.
And one of them was a very lucky shot because it hit him just above where it would have been fatal for him. So one shot was very, very lucky, and the other one hit another part of the president's body.
Lucky for who?
Well, it's lucky for Oswald because if that's what he was planning.
Yeah, not very lucky for.
Oh no.
yeah, very much not lucky for JFK.
No, JFK wasn't lucky whatsoever.
So, you would say that then that actually plays into it being him because, like, he didn't hit all 3. One of them was like a lucky shot. Well, lucky in air quotations. The other one hit like a not vital part of his body.
I know that his ear got blown off by one of the shots. I think one of them, because one of them hit him like in the chest, but the angle was wrong.
Okay.
So like there's a theory that Lee Harvey Oswald shot but didn't hit the president at all, and someone else hit the president from a different angle.
Right, got it. And I was also thinking, like, if it was famous that he wasn't a great shooter and somebody else were to do it, then they probably would like fire one off that didn't hit on purpose.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, this is the thing, really. There's another thing. Apparently, Lee Harvey Oswald fired 3 shots in 8.6 seconds. The first shot missed. The second shot struck Kennedy in the back and exited through the throat and hit the guy in front of him, which is a governor called John Connolly, breaking one of his ribs, shattering his wrist, and ending up in his right thigh. However, people who are researching this subject discovered that the bullet that hit both the president and the governor remained largely intact, which means it couldn't be responsible for all the damage it caused. Because when a bullet hits something, it automatically expands and explodes.
Right.
So you only get you get a fractured end of it, but
So the bullet was in this guy's thigh?
and it remained intact.
Well, it definitely was in there, though.
Yeah, it was in there, but some people think that because it was 3 shots in 8.6 seconds. Plus, Lee Harvey Oswald isn't a great shot either. Some people think that because of the distance he shot from and the impact it made, that one bullet would have exploded instead of remaining intact.
Right.
Which is one of the reasons why some people think, oh, maybe Oswald didn't fire that shot at all.
Right.
So some people claim that Oswald must have fired something, but they don't think he was the person who fired the actual shot that killed the president and injured the governor as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Connolly and Kennedy were hit by different bullets in a matter of seconds, which suggests that there must be another shooter involved, especially considering if Oswald missed the shot beforehand or in between both the shots as well. So the time it took for them both to get hit and the time it took for him to fire the shots, people think that is far too sporadic and close to the point that one person could have fired it all together.
Okay. So I get all that it's like potentially wasn't this dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My question is, right, so this guy, Lee Harvey Oswald, was found with a gun, I'm guessing an illegal firearm,
Yeah.
in close proximity. Now, if he was found there with that, even if he didn't do it, and I get that from like maybe his family or people that were close to the president that wanted justice, I get that. But why do so many people care? If they found someone and they say he did it, why do so many people believe, like, or have the time to like choose not to believe that he was the one who did it?
I think it's kind of a matter of how invested you are within the media, really, and the case behind it. Because obviously,
There's a lot of inconsistencies to it. Like,
Yeah.
there's certain audio footage from that day where you can hear different numbers of gunshots. And the one that hit him in the chest, if Harvey Oswald had fired it, it must have gone in and then ricocheted upwards to then come out the back, which is known as a magic bullet. There's a grassy knoll near where he got shot, which like could have hidden another shooter.
yeah,
So, like, well, I guess thinking about it, it's kind of similar to, like, here. Well, I guess even more worldwide, even. Like, when Princess Diana died.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, people talk about it all the time. But then it's kind of just like, oh, yeah, it was probably something else. But then you forget about it for another few weeks before someone brings it up again. Like, in that sense, it's kind of just people, like, being a bit nosy. Like, not nosy, because obviously it's for the right reasons. You want justice and things like that. But in that sense, there's no way of, like, proving anything. No one's actually going to do anything about it.
But at the same time, it's like, particularly with JFK, like, because you get a new president every 4 or 8 years or whatever, like, it would be an issue if the person who'd shot JFK is now still at large, because they therefore know that they can kill a president and get away with it, and might then do it again.
Yeah.
So it's trying to figure out who actually did it. I'm not sure they will ever figure out who actually killed JFK if it wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald. But, like, it's vital that we do find out who as much as we can.
I think because there's that many inconsistencies, no matter how big of a consistency they may be, people naturally will pick up on them and start thinking, oh, maybe there's something more to this than we're thinking. Which is why, as much as chances are he could be guilty, but it's not 100% sure that he is, because of how many different theories are going around of, oh, the CIA did it, or the mafia did it, or the mob did it, or there was somebody else in the crowd working with him. Like, the question really isn't, did he do it? It's just, did he act on his own?
Yeah.
Which is, I think, what most people are kind of more concerned about. Because if he had an accomplice, then chances are that person either could still be at large, or they could have committed more stuff like this in the past. Which is, I think that's kind of why a lot of people are more invested in this kind of case than others, maybe, if that makes sense.
Oh man, I tell you what, this one isn't as funny as Lizard People.
No, it's not. It's not as funny, but it's quite interesting though.
It's interesting.
There's more evidence to various claims than there is with Lizard People.
Yeah.
The Lizard People is just me going, what if they can shapeshift? But like,
I think that's kind of better though, isn't it? Like, because at least then, like, it's kind of fun. This is just like finding a murderer.
well, that's literally what it is.
Well, to be honest, I didn't really think it through, lads. I just thought, well, I know a bit about this, and I thought, go on, I'll give it a little go.
I know that there's a conspiracy theory around this business.
I'll try my best. What's to be fair? The criteria was just pick a conspiracy theory and we can talk about it. And I think
That is true.
I think I have done all right overall.
Do you have any other points that you want to get off your chest, Scott, about this? Anything that you think's really vital to know?
Not particularly that springs to mind.
Very good.
I think I've covered everything I can do with it.
So there's quite a bit there to think about. Ruben,
Oh yeah.
how are you feeling about this one? Are you feeling like Lee Harvey Oswald was responsible? Are you feeling like he wasn't and there was other people involved, or do you think it was just someone else entirely?
I think Lee Harvey Oswald definitely shot at the president, probably to try and kill him. I don't think he was on his own, because there were various people who weren't super keen on JFK at that time, like the mob, as Scott said. The Russians weren't particularly huge on him. It was leading toward the Cold War at that point. He just had a bit of an altercation with Cuba and Fidel Castro. So I don't think he acted on his own. Interesting to note, in the X-Men comics, Magneto killed JFK.
What?
And that's why the bullet ricocheted in such a weird way, because he can control metal.
That is the nerdiest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Well, that's what I'm here for, isn't it? That's my niche that I'm filling.
That makes this conspiracy so much more cool.
Oh, I should have included that, shouldn't I?
What, in case Magneto did it?
Yeah, that just turned my vote.
Oh, brilliant.
Cheers, Ruben.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Nah, I didn't though. Ruben, do you, like, because you had a bit of prior knowledge to this,
Yeah.
as you probably will with most things.
Yeah.
Did Scott sort of sway you with what he was saying, or is this an opinion you've held for a long time?
It is an opinion I've held for a while. I think if I hadn't held this opinion, I think Scott probably would have helped nudge me in the direction of maybe it wasn't just Lee Harvey Oswald.
Well, what I'm going to say is, from a point of complete outside of you, I had no knowledge on this really. I think that he did it.
Right, okay.
And what I'm going to say is that the Magneto thing is super cool.
It's very plausible.
But also, I think even if other bullets were involved, if he was working with other people and things like that, they should try and catch them. That's obvious. But if other people were involved, which caused the bullets to be at different angles to where he would have been, then I think he probably still did do it. So he is at least partially responsible. But also, the other thing that I'll say is, wasn't JFK in like a moving vehicle?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in a motorcade.
So what if the bullet just like moved in the air?
No, it what? It would have. I'm acting out with my hands now, and I know that you can't see me, but I'm like, what? It would have had to go like that.
And for that reason, I am discrediting this conspiracy theory.
Ooh, I can't believe you discredited that and not lizard people.
Lizard people is more plausible than something like that.
What if, hear me out, what if Lee Harvey Oswald was a lizard person?
What if JFK was a lizard person and Lee Harvey Oswald was actually a close friend to David Icke? Pen pals from across the sea.
I mean, it's a hell of a plot twist, not gonna lie.
JFK is one of the people that's considered to be a potential lizard person.
Excellent. How did we guess?
So technically what you're saying is these are linked together somehow.
I have no idea what Sam's going to come out with, but I'm going to link it in.
David Icke is the sole person.
David Icke killed JFK.
Okay, there we go. That's it. That's the one we wanted to hear.
Shout out to David Icke if he's listening.
I don't think he will be.
I mean, after some of the stuff we've come out with over this and the last episode, I seriously hope he never hears this.
You never know.
So, for those above reasons, I'm going to say that I personally myself do not believe this conspiracy theory. Ruben?
Not in lizard people, but in JFK, yeah.
Well, congrats, Scott. That's a solid 50% for you there. That's a good first attempt, son. Thank you all for joining us again today. I hope you enjoyed this brief encounter, and I look forward to seeing you again in the slightly extended length third episode, in which I talk to the guys about the many facts and theories behind the Flat Earth Society, where we wrap up our mini-series of conspiracies. As usual, if you did enjoy this episode, please make sure you subscribe and add notifications to our Twitter feed or Facebook page so that you don't miss out on future episodes. I can't wait to see you next week for another chat on Face for Radio. We'll see you there.
Conspiracies.